This class is for Emilee, and Emilee requested a balance class. And Emilee is Chloe's roommate, who by extension is included in yoga for my daughters. And not just by extension, but also by love and by being a co-parent to my pets when I'm traveling and many other things. Okay, so we're reading from How to Love by Thich Nhat Hanh. Let's see. And we just finished Heart Like a River and Feeding Our Love. And today is Understanding is the Nature of Love. Understanding someone's suffering is the best gift you can give another person. Understanding is love's other name. If you don't understand, you can't love. So understanding someone's suffering is the best gift you can give another person. Understanding is love's other name. If you don't understand, you can't love. Wow, that's bigger than I expected it to be. So let's dedicate our class to that. And I think that the notion of bodhicitta, bodhisattva really works here. I've been studying a lot of Pema Chodron's work and Buddhist philosophy, and this notion of really working toward having open-heartedness, open-mindedness, the bodhicitta uh, way of being, the pathway, the bodhisattva pathway. So let's work on this. Understanding someone's suffering is the best gift you can give another person. And it seems like that is really different from empathy or sympathy, that it really is working to understand that person and their struggle, their life path, the things that are hard, the things that are joyful, the things they're afraid of. So, balancing is a great way to approach this. How do I stay steady while I manage all that's in here? And then I also work to fully understand the inner experience of someone that I care about. So let's start with a just a simple meditation on that. Um, Placing your hands palms down if you're feeling like there's a lot of energy and you need a little bit of closure, and palms up if you're feeling like you'd like to receive energy. And then just breathing on this notion of balance, this notion of open-heartedness and staying steady while you work on your open-heartedness, while you let your open-heartedness evolve, slowly unfold. And this is all while Hobbes is working through Thich Nhat Hanh's book on love. See if you can bring your awareness to your heart center here, this loving kindness chakra. It's so interesting when we start to meditate how animals are literally drawn toward us. And then just allowing a sense of open-heartedness, and may I seek to understand those I love. May I have a sense of this understanding being core, perhaps foundational to my ability to really love them. That really seeking to understand someone is maybe a great seed of my capacity for intimacy. And then just bringing your awareness back to your breath. I'm going to bring sensations to my legs, adding the kind of movement of my hands to just wake up the body, maybe even a self hug, and a little movement. And then let's get into our practice. So I like to start with a core activation. It is really important to have a strong core. This is the support of the spine, and especially for balance poses, the center of us, right? This spot from which we balance is right here at our core, and we want all those muscles around that to have the capacity to support us. And let's start with the legs bent. This is Finnegan. Say hi, Finny. The legs bent, feet on the floor, and interlacing your fingers behind your head. You're okay, boy. It's okay. He has a little, he's got an inhaler, and we already did it this morning. All right, so then the head up. Okay, here, there you go. Elbows wide, feet on the floor, and we're just going to pulse up for a few. Well, a little more than a few, to be honest. But this video is for Emilee, and I know core work is not her favorite. So I'm just activating the core, and I'm working to lift from my heart center, and it really helps. I just had to remind myself to look up toward the ceiling. When I look toward my legs or toward Hobbs, I'm pulling on my neck. But when I look up toward the ceiling and press my head back into my hands, hands into my head, then I'm not getting that same kind of pulling on my cervical spine. And I'm working these pulses, noticing the muscles. And now, right now, I'm noticing kind of a burning sensation. It's really important when you're doing yoga to pay attention to the sensations. They help us make choices. So I'm noticing, and then I'm noticing to where I'm really doing the work, expanding maybe a little bit of my window of tolerance, and then I'm going to take a pause. Woo! And your pause might have been before mine, and you may still be going because we're all different. And yoga is a relationship between you and your body, and that is going to be different from my relationship with my body. Anything I say, so I'm headed back into some more. Anything I say should not interfere with your relationship with your body. That is the primary connection. That's the primary focus of our work is you connecting to yourself, your true intentions, your body, the sensations in your body, the messages that come from your body, and not what I'm saying. Good. I'm resting again. Big breath in and out. I'm getting all kinds of kisses this morning from everybody. Okay, now let's go into some bicycles. So, bicycles here, we're not going to focus on elbow to knee, and I could, but you can see if Hobbs moved a little, you could see how I'm pulling my neck to my knee, and so I want you to think of rib to hip while you're doing this. So instead of, and my elbow will move toward my knee, but I'm really rib to hip and then pushing through the feet. There. I was away yesterday and I think they were missing me. Good. And we'll just do 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. And then a big breath in and a big breath out. And a big breath in and opening the mouth. Big breath in and out. Good. Let's do 10 more, nice and slow for Hobbs. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. More breath. Big breath in. Big breath out. Big breath in and out. Here we go. 10 more. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Yay. Big breath in and out. And really try to expand your belly. So we're stretching the muscles from the inside out and out. Good. And now we're going to bring some awareness to our pelvis. We're going to be doing balance poses. And so we want to be thinking about our relationship between our legs and our core. And right here, right, we have our hips and our pelvis, and we want to work toward, in many of the poses, neutral. Some of them will be opening, some of them have closing, and so we bring awareness to where your pelvis is. So Let's just rock a little forward and back. I'm even taking so I'm curling in navel to spine and lifting my tailbone a little from the floor. And then here I'm rocking back, lifting my low back from the floor. So the pelvis tilting forward and then coming in. Yep. Here. Yep. And you're noticing how much the core muscles have to do with the low back, right? And the control of the pelvis. Yeah. I'm noticing that a lot this morning. We did a long car ride yesterday, so I can really notice that. Oh, good. Then a few more core. So here, choices are, there's lots of choices. Any pose at all, water drinking pose. You could do your arms out as cactus arms or all the way out or down by your hips, or create a diamond shape under your tailbone for support of the sacrum. And then slowly moving into scissor legs. So here, this one's nice. The pelvis stays pretty stable because one leg is up, one leg is down. It's really allowing, you can kind of feel it shift a little from side to side, and see if you can use your core muscles drawing in the pelvic floor to keep the pelvis really steady. Still breathe. That's the hard part. Good. Chin neutral. So it's really easy for me, especially I'll start to oh. So drawing in the chin. Good. Let's do 10 more. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Yay. Now I'm going to let my legs rock side to side. And then you're just going to work with what animals are in the room, what space you have. Yeah. If you're lucky, you got lots of animals in the room. And then slowly working your way up to seated. All right, we're going to swing our legs around. So one option is to rock back and forth, crossing your legs, planting your hands, and moving through down dog into table. Or another option is just to really kind of swing your legs back and work yourself into table. All right, so here I am at the table. I'm working to get my knees under my hips, my hands under my shoulders, and then work into our cat and cows. And so another opportunity to explore, right, this relationship between the spine, the core, and your pelvis, right? And here we're really working toward movement, synchronizing the breath and the movement. So I'm inhaling when my belly's low, exhaling in cat, inhaling cow. And here I can add my ujjayi breathing. So my mouth is closed and I'm breathing through my nose. But I have this sense of and now I'm going to close my mouth and do the ujjayi breathing, that same HA kind of sensation, but with my mouth closed. Yay. And then sinking back into child's pose, stretching to the hips, reaching my fingers forward. Yeah. Good. And then let's move this into downward facing dog. So just getting our warm up in. And Emilee's really asking for a lot of balancing poses. So we'll get a warm up in. I think warming up is really important. And then we'll emphasize a lot of the balance poses, getting also a sense of a class. And then just at any time you need to, you can remove cat hair, Hobbs cat hair from your experience. So digging into the toes, heels down, toward the floor. And you can see here, my heels are working toward the floor. They don't need to touch the floor for the pose to count. All poses count. All efforts are valid. And then lifting your right leg high, bending and stacking, and just getting a nice stretch, spreading through the toes and breathing, opening up. Oh, it feels good. And you want to activate, right, the hip to really, from the outside, to draw the leg open. You can even have a sense of bringing it down and then really activating those muscles to open the leg. This is like almost like a half moon muscle area. And then lift the left leg high, bend and stack. And you can have that same, just the movement to feel the muscles. So we want to be able to listen to our own bodies, our own journeys, what's easy and what's hard for us. Good. So that is really a big precursor to listening to others. I'm gonna heel toe my feet apart. And then just taking a little swing, just gentle, letting my head be heavy, maybe even reminding it with my hands. Yeah, and my 58-year-old body is here for you to have compassion for your own body. Like all these poses don't have to come from the cover of a magazine or something that you would use to, right, sell a big yoga workshop on social media. It's just your body, the pose this morning, without a big worry coming slowly up for, right, what others might see from the outside, right? We're looking at what is this connection on the inside? What am I feeling, right? Your heart's desire, your true sense of love and connection is not going to come from an objectified gaze, for sure. Oh, so we're just getting a sense of movement in the body. Yeah. And where I'm recording now, it is pretty early in the morning. Let's see. Yeah, we're just headed towards 7 o'clock in the morning. So I'm letting my body. It might be that I know Emilee is in medical school and she is in her third year and she's doing clinical placements. So she might be doing this at night when she gets home. And her body will feel tired in a different way or stiff in a different way from doing that. I'm going to come up to goalpost arms. I'm going to go a little slower to pay attention to the twist that I'm creating. So I'm working to get it from the ground up. Yeah, and your muscles, that's one of my ankles. Your bones and muscles crackling. Yeah. I'm adding like a little bit of down movement. I'm just getting body going, keeping my chin neutral. Yeah. And then I can go all the way up. This is like, yay. I'm from Buffalo, New York, and we have the Buffalo Bills here. Um, and my relationship is with the Bills is, I don't know. I know that when they win, the city is really happy, and then I'm happy when the city's happy. And I tend to get roped in by the end of the season, but to me, this pose is like, we finally won the Super Bowl. But also for you, right? Like this like victory pose. All right, let's go right into a big victory pose. Or maybe we can kind of think of it as starfish and just getting a sense of stretching on each side. Yeah, and then allowing your breath to kind of move with your body. Coming to center, hands at your heart center, rolling your shoulders back. Ah, having a sense of your neck. Toes point out and then coming down into a squat. Yeah. And then just work into your squat, going as low as makes sense for your body. And then we're going to move through squat to full expression here a couple times. So big, and then back into the squat. And then big. Yeah. And then paying attention to your relationship with the earth. So I'm pushing. At a certain point, I'm going to start pulling. And at a certain point, I have the push. I'm keeping the pull. I'm going to add the stretch. And then back down. Ready? Push, pull, and stretch. And I'm collecting here. So hands come in, coming down. Ah, push, pull, and stretch. And then down. Yay. Push, pull, and stretch. And as you learn these little nuances of movement in your body, that it is more, right, than just kind of standing up. Let me do a few from like halfway down. So maybe I go here. Yeah, so it's still push, pull, express. And then collect, drawing in and down. Push, pull, express. Yeah. So as I learn my body, how to be compassionate with my body, this is like the huge, like I can open my heart to myself. I can start to open my heart to others. If there's spots of myself that I'm close-hearted to, that I'm judging, right? Then how on earth do I really truly have an open heart for others? Because there's these compartments, right, that are just unacceptable, I guess. And those must exist in others. And so there we are. So our own lack of acceptance of self takes us out of our ability to be fully open-hearted with others. And then Thich Nhat Hanh suggests, right, that this could get in the way of our ability to fully love. So a few more of these just gentle twists, your goalpost arms, and then into like, yay, not paying attention from the feet up, and then shaking it out. All right. I'm trying to decide, Emilee, if we should do some sun salutations. I'll have to move Hobbs. So say hi, hello. There we go. All right, so let's do a few sun salutations. I think it's a good way to warm up. And so I've gone ahead and decided we're going to add those before we do the balancing poses. I'm going to do some sun salutations without going to the floor at first, and then I'll do some going to the floor. But I want you to have an opportunity to see, that you can really do some sun salutations without having to go all the way to the floor. And sometimes our bodies are just not in a space where we want to go all the way to the floor. So let's start with a sun A. Breathe in. I can fold forward as much as feels right for my body. Halfway lift, right? And then normally I would go high plank, low plank, right? But I'm just going to do these half sun A's. Breathing in, fold forward, half lift, fold, press down, and rise up. And fold, half lift, fold, press down, and rise up. Fold, half lift, fold, and rise up. Okay, so then some sun bees. Checking, I'm going to hit the mantle here. So I'm in chair pose, fold, half lift, down, and then rise up. So now I have like another kind of more intense sun A. Good, breathe in, fold, half lift, fold, rise up. Chair, fold, half lift, fold, rise up. Yay. Okay, now chair, fold, half lift, fold, rise up. And then grounding the right foot, stepping back with the left. So really feeling this. Warrior one. And this I love for all the bodhicitta work, right? This there is a warrior level to being able to accept all of you, all the parts that screwed up before, right? All the parts that made glorious errors, right? And really, really love those parts, right? Love those parts. And this will give us, right, to kind of understand the struggle of others. We have to be compassionate with this struggle in ourselves. So be a warrior to really face even the parts where you might have the S word, SHAME, about shame, right? Where we don't even think like I did something bad, but gosh, I think I am bad. No, right? Like have compassion for that person that you feel like made those mistakes. Come up. And then we're just going to switch to the other side and back. Really having a sense of loving that person. I'm like, gosh, right? Like I'm in this, I'm doing my yoga, I'm in the path, and I have made mistakes, and I'm doing the work it takes, right, to do the right thing, to be the person that I hope to be, to have an open and loving heart, no matter the past and no matter the struggles, and having a sense that I was doing the best I could. That beautiful earlier version of yourself. So in warrior one, good. And I like to collect to move, right? So stepping back the other side and then express. So collect and express and collect. So now, Emilee, this is getting to be, yeah, see, I was just gonna say it's getting to be a balance pose because I am really on one foot as I'm transferring back. So collect and move, collect. Yeah. So here I am, I'm bringing myself to this core in the center. And you can see if I like start to express too quickly, I'll start to, it's like that is a higher level balance. Yeah. So then I wobble to the side, which is fine to wobble. Yes. That would be part of accepting all the parts of ourselves, the parts that wobble. Good. All right. So now let's do a few actual to the floor sun salutations. So to complement our actual not going to the floor. Here we go. Big breath in and fold, halfway lift, and then high plank. Beep, 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 beep. Oh boy. All right. And I want to move through our first up dog and down dog slowly. So we'll see if you're lucky enough to have a cat underneath you. You you get to do. We'll see what happens with Hobbs. My feet are going to go on the floor. I'm going to slowly, yep, calm down. Aw, thank you, Hobbs. All right, and then hands tented. I'm going to lift the chest. And down. And lift. And down. And lift. And down. It's a nice stretch to the hips and the belly. And lift. And down. And this time I'm going to move right into high plank and then into downward facing dog. Big breath in. Big breath out. Bend your knees, look up, step or float forward. Halfway lift. Fold. Good. Let's go into chair pose. Ooh, Katasana. Good. Fold forward. I have Hobbs hair all over myself. Halfway lift. High plank. Low plank. Upward facing dog. Downward facing dog. Stepping the right foot forward. Warrior one. Yay. Rising up. Opening into warrior two. Good. Yep, feeling your body. Reverse. And then all the way down. Okay. Hobbs is now playing with the leg. There we go, bud. It's from high plank to low plank, upward facing dog, and downward facing dog. Left foot forward, warrior one. Reaching up. Good. Opening up to warrior two. Reverse. And then all the way down. High to low, up and down. Big breath in. Big breath out. Bend your knees, look up, step, or float forward. Halfway lift, fold, chair pose, Utkatasana. Good, fold forward, halfway lift, high plank, low plank, upward facing, downward facing, right foot forward, warrior one. And you can do this standing, warrior two, peaceful, and then all the way down, high to low, up and down, or these ones that go all the way to the floor. The most loving thing you can do is to be attuned to and connected to the needs of your body. And all the way down, high to low and up and down. Let's do one more. Big breath in, big breath out. Ujjayi breath now in and out. And in and out. Then we'll step forward, halfway lift, take off the counter, and then chair pose. Ooh, nice and deep. Fold forward, halfway lift, high plank, low plank, upward facing dog, downward facing dog, right foot forward, warrior one. Yay. Warrior two, peaceful warrior. Big stretch, deep knee. That feels nice. And then all the way down, high to low, up and down. Left foot forward, warrior one. Open into two, reverse, and then all the way down, high to low, and up and down. Big breath in, big breath out. Nice. All right, let's step forward to a warrior one. I'm going to put my block here by Hobbs. There. All right. And so we'll play with a few balancing poses right from warrior one. So first, finding warrior one. Hands to your heart because we're going to move. And this isn't like a solid rule, but we're just kind of collecting to our center first. It's a nice way to organize yourself. Let's think about Thich Nhat Hanh and this ability to love. Like as we are really working to understand the pain and struggle of someone else, we might collect ourselves at the center first, ground, and then listen, just like we might prepare for a pose. All right, and then into warrior three. So we're working, I'm paying attention to my back foot. I'm going to lift through the heel. And then up dog in the chest, pulling in the pelvic floor, strong belly, and working towards square hips. And I might reach forward. I'm looking just a little ahead of me. And then collecting. And then into warrior one. Good. I'm going to step up and step back to the other side. There we go. So I'm in my warrior one. I have a sense of this. And you can see the lines in the body are there. I'm just going to change my relationship. And when we do that, then I have to refine those lines, right? So let's see. I'm going to collect myself and then move into the pose. So see this line, I'm going to work to find that again. Lift to the chest, squaring my hips, paying attention. And it isn't about being perfect. It's just about giving us something to work on while we connect with our bodies. Yeah. Good. And then I'm going to bring myself back to center and step forward. Switch back to the first side. Good. And this time we'll do a little vinyasa. We want to be even. So we will, and I joke because there's a bit of obsessive compulsive tendencies that run in my family, and we like everything to be even, which is a fine thing to like. Here we go. Up. And then reach. So I'm not going for perfect, I'm going for presence, I'm going for connection, I'm going for breath. One more breath. Then collect and come down. Okay, this time I'm going to take it through vinyasa. High or not, right? Low, up, and down. We'll go to the left side. Warrior one. All right. Good. Having a sense of the warrior one, having a sense of the lines that are possible in my body, right? This is possible. Collecting, pressing, and then finding the posture from the inside out. Like no need for mirrors or, right? We're just looking from the inside out. Breathing. Yay. Collecting and coming down. Good. Stepping forward. Switching to the right side. And if you notice, like I just did, I was going to move into the pose and I had a sense I wasn't quite collected. So pause and just collect, right? You as a being, your body, or a person in your life, right? I think we'll be happier with the pause than trying to push through to make something happen that you're not ready for. Here we go. Ah. A little more wobbly on this side. Then you're just noticing, like, oh, so then I better give myself lots of breath, lots of support, activating the muscles. Yeah, and then slowly back. Yay. Good presence. Up and back to the side. Good, having a sense of your warrior one, a sense of your pelvis, right? And so here, it is like a little forward. I have my leg back. I can work to draw it a tiny bit more toward neutral, but not a lot. I have a leg going back, right? Now, what's nice is when I move into warrior three, this is like laying on the ground, right? That my pelvis now, I have a leg down, a leg up, just like we were doing scissors. So I can have the sense of where my pelvis is, but that it's a bit easier to neutralize than it is in warrior one. Breathing, 3 breaths. I think that makes us even on both sides. So up. If not, I think we're pretty good. And then high to low, up and down. Ah, good. Walking out your dog. Let's roll into a few planks to really get the energy flowing. So through the legs, bent knees, and I'm rolling forward, high plank with an inhale and an exhale. Downward facing dog. Rolling inhale and an exhale. Downward facing dog. And inhale and an exhale. This time roll drop the knees. And then if you'd like, down, up, and then down dog. So a couple of those. Roll down, up, and back, and roll down, up, and back. Yay. And then walking your feet forward. And we'll take a forward fold here. I'll face this way. I'm going to take my feet really wide and just rock. See if you can get a little more movement in there. Whew. And then rising up. All right, I think we are ready to do some more balancing poses. So let's start with extended toe. So I'm going to show you two ways to do this. So one of them is just through the knee. So lifting up your leg. I'm not going to say which one because just start with the one that feels right. You can mirror me if you want. I have my hand on my leg. I'm taking my other hand out. And we're finding the center line. So the big toe edge of the grounded foot, that energy comes right up to the center line, to the kind of navel and a little bit above your navel. You're going to draw the navel or a little above it up and in, lift through the chest to the crown of the head, and this sense of balance. See if you can soften the shoulders, soften the jaw, soften the eyes, soften the thoughts, and then maybe opening, maybe, right? My body's like, oh, and then maybe looking to the opposite side. Yay. And then back to center. The hand can stay out. Good. And then down. And then the next one, let me grab my strap from my bag. So you can, if you have a strap, use a strap. And you might not need a strap, just grab your foot. You can use a bathrobe tie. You can use a towel. And you can use a tie. So I'm going to now use the strap here just to give myself kind of more access, right, to my leg. I'm going to now take it out to the front. I have my arm in a counterbalance and then over to the side. I'm still working toward the midline and lifting up and through. I have the extra challenge of halves. Yeah. And I'm breathing. Maybe looking to the left. Good. 3, 2, and 1. Back to center. Then I'm going to gently take off the strap and move it to the other side. And see if I can. There we go. All right, here we go. To this side. And I'm getting a sense first of my body and the new side. Oh, we need to do this knee first. Here we go. Let's do this knee first. There. There's another good example of how you don't have to be perfect. I'm really good at helping with that. All right, here we go. Yeah. So let's say you're doing something and you weren't perfect and you forgot to do something. You could be like, oh, I forgot. Let's add that in. And then the world doesn't fall apart. You just make it right. Yeah. And then back to center. And if you like, for me, I was like, oh, that was wobbly. I want to kind of leave with that transition going well. So I can always, right, bring it back in. And let's say that was an interaction with a person that I love. I can say like, oh, I don't know if I feel okay with how that went. Do you mind if I redo? I'm working on this. I'm working on my balance. I'm working on my thoughtfulness before I leave. I'm working on pausing to thank someone before I end an interaction, whatever it is you're working on, and you just say, do you mind if I redo that? All right, I'm gonna take my leg. I take my leg over to the side first, and you can see the side's a little harder for me. And then looking, and then back in. Yay. Good. All right, now another bouncing pose, going up the same. So we have the knee with this hand. This is what we were doing just now, or we'll start with our first side with this hand, right? And now I'm going to take and switch the hands. So opposite hand, opposite knee, and take my other hand back. I'm trying to twist the torso. Right now I'm looking forward at you, but I'm gonna look to see if I can take my gaze backwards. Yeah. And then slowly back to center. Shake it up. So bouncing poses can get you a little bit like contracted and over collected, right? So we'll still try to work to keep an openness. So let's try the other side. Here we go. So I'm going to take the opposite hand, this hand back, and then look back. Yay. And then, unlike me, there we go. Oh, okay, I'm back. Don't hold your breath. So I was holding my breath there, and you just notice you're like, oh, I was holding my breath. Good, and a nice side to side. And we'll do a few clearing breaths. Big breath in and out. And in and out. And in and out. Good. All right, side to side. All right, how about eagle pose? So here, I'm trying to side about. I'll do it this way. Grounding the left foot, taking the right leg over. I can just cross once. I'm going to see if I can cross twice this morning. Sinking down and then working the arms. So they can cross here, cross at the elbows, collect the hands, and we're working our way into a chair pose. Breathing. And we're noticing, right, the body, the efforts, the struggles to like stay balanced, even those spontaneous thoughts that come up. Some of them aren't so kind, some of them are more supportive. I've been working for years with my automatic thoughts, right? And so things are going better than they used to go. But remember all that, right? I know things get challenging. In the past, my brain would automatically just be self-destroying. And now I've, over the years, so many years of yoga and practice, therapy, right? I've gotten so that the voice is more kind and compassionate and supportive. But I'll not forget the past because that helps me really connect to what that feels like in others. This like pool of compassion. Because I know what it feels like to try and have your brain be the meanest person in the room. Side to side. Yeah. And that we can really kind of learn how to get rid of those conditioned thoughts that we internalize from our culture, from expectations, to get really true self thoughts that are kind. So now we'll go, I need my block. I'm going to go from eagle to airplane to half moon. So I have my block ready for my half moon. So here we go. Let's see what Hobbs is going to do. Oh, I think he's going to watch the pigeons outside. So eagle. I'm getting my lower half of the self here. Breathing. And then lowering. So here, I'm going to unfurl, right? Unfurl. Whoa. And then into airplane. Hobbs is working on his balance poses. Yay. This is like the warrior three, right? Paying attention. Here, glutes activated. Hands to your heart. I'm finding my block. I'm going to tap my hips open. Activate here so I can work toward my toes pointing up, stacking the lungs. And now here, this is an extra challenge, right? I'm looking down. I'm going to see about looking up, which is not easy. I think that took me like 2 years, and I actually can't always do it. So I'm happy today to see this. Oh, your drishti, your eye gaze works like as another hand or foot in terms of stability. And then folding forward. Woo. And then roll up. Ah. Side to side. All right, let's try that on the other side. Big breath in, big breath out. Huge eye. Breathe, big breath in and out. Good job, body. All right, here we go. And here. In the past like decade, I've taken up horseback riding, and it's really helped me with my yoga, right? In this partnership. And I think sometimes the body is a lot like a horse, and my body is a lot like a rescue horse. Rescue from how I used to treat it. Oh, and now, right, it's like teaching the body to trust me again after I was kind of not the best owner of it. And now I think, oh, am I an owner of my body, or am I actually my body, right? I'm not objectifying myself. Here we go. And then if I'm not the owner, right, and I am this body, like working on this partnership, this self-regulation, this kindness. Good. Oh, and I didn't even do the other side. I am here again. So we'll do two on each side. Interesting choices, brain. And then fold forward. If you took the other side, good for you. All right, so now I'm going to go here. Yes. So now if you took the other side, just go with me. We'll do 4 of these. So here's number 3. I'm really helping people be okay with making mistakes this morning. All right. There. Good. Sinking in. Now this side is different for me. And also that can be like, I know there's like this notion of a story I'm telling. There's truth to it in terms of actual like my body and an injury in my right hip. But there's also me, right, not allowing my body away, if I get stuck in that story, to be different, right? To be strong again on this side. So I'm just noticing that, right? Having compassion for my hip, but also not needing to like tell a story before I even start. Hands to the heart. And then opening up. So I'm going to tap my hip, press to the center line of my grounded foot, and then here. And then just see what I can see. If I can look up. Oh, kind of. Not bad. Nice. And then fold and round up. Ooh. All right, side to side. I'm going to try that side again. If you're going back and forth, then do the side that makes sense for you. There you go, Emilee. Lots of these. All right, here we go. All right, so now it's actually nice to do something twice, because my body just got a chance to, it's going to get a chance to kind of self-organize from the feedback from the last attempt. Here we go. I'm breathing. It's so easy on these balance poses to, or in these balance poses, through these balance poses, um, to really lose the breath, to stop breathing, because we're focusing so much. So keeping your breath. And your breath is this constant connection with the body. The breath is like the language of the body. Ooh. And then hands to the heart, and then slowly, I'm going to work from the ground up, creating the half moon. And then maybe the gaze. And then down and down. Yay. Oh, good job, hips. Right side to side. And it's good job, hips, no matter how it went, because it's the trying that matters. All right, now heading into dancer. Checking the time to make sure we have this class around an hour long. So I'm taking my strap like a jump rope in the back, and then stepping my foot through and catching the ankle. So I can stay right here. I can walk my hands up the strap, and I'm slowly kicking into the strap. Your hips are oriented square, right? We're really opening the heart and opening the right hip flexor. Good. We'll hold this for 20 counts. We'll see. So 20, 19, 18. My arms are shaking. 17, 16, 15, 14, 13, 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2. Oh, yay. Good. And then again, lots of like reprieve for the body when you've worked that hard. All right, here we go. Great effort, great rest. Taking the other side. Good, walking the arms up. So this here is the beginning of the work of this pose, no matter like where you catch the foot and where you put the arms. So here. And, you know, remember, as much as I have like a 58-year-old going on 59-year-old body, I've also been practicing for like lots of years, right? So there's this compare and despair. Usually when people do yoga with me, I help them feel good about themselves by the comparison. But if you're practicing this and you're like, oh gosh, how is she doing that? Like, let that go. Because this is after, 20 years and still it's hard. Ready? 20, 19, 18, 17. You can do this by breaths. 16, 15, 14, 13. Oh, good. That's for you. Fall out. So we're on 13. You guys keep going. I'm going to come back up on my 13. So you stop at your 1. Here we go. 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Ah, yay. And I always think If I fall out, my body was needing more earth, and I give him more earth, and then I try again, right? Um, so again, there's no shame in that, and like needing more earth for a minute and starting over. So give yourself earth. Gosh, it's like first chakra, your right to be here. You have a, it's I guess a right to make mistakes. Like, of course, we work to get it right and take care of ourselves and others, but sometimes we wobble and fall, right? And give yourself earth. You have the right to this earth here. Great. So now let's just try dancer without the strap. Or if you want, go ahead with the strap again. So you can pick, or any other pose, of course. Um, let's see. Grounding, getting myself centered, catching the back leg. I like the chin mudra. I'll tell you why in Goddess. Yeah. In 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Here we go. You can also put the hands straight out. This is just a counterbalance. So I can stay here or kick into my hand as much as I'd like. For 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Ha. Good. Another nervous system reward. Good job, nervous system. And I'm just noticing too, right? This is part of me keeping myself, right, in that window of tolerance. Like I work to great effort and rest. And I'll do a video all about like, I'll do probably a series on the polyvagal theory and paying attention to your system in the class. But I like to work around between 2 and 4 or 5 on a self-regulation scale of 1 to 10. Sometimes 6, but really like kind of great effort, great rest, and not going into 7, 8, 9, 10 where I'm into like distress. That's not a place to practice. All right. So our next pose, let's do a tree pose. So finding my balance here. So see this, see my hip here? I'm gonna draw this in, an awareness of this. So I'm pressing down into my foot and lifting up as opposed to, I don't know, sinking into my hip. And especially for my right hip, I need to really focus on this in and up. Good, and then I can take my foot here for tree pose. So I have a kickstand. So let's start with that one because it can really get us drawing in and up. So you have a sense of the earth and in and up. And then as you feel ready, so it's push, pull, and express. Yeah, maybe looking, breathing. I'll remind you when I remind myself. Okay, try the other side. So we're getting the base, building poses from the ground up. Noticing this hip, and you'll notice how this one, for me, that kind of difference on either side was even already pulling in more naturally. So I'm just more mindful on the right side. The left side's more automaticity. And then up. Okay. All right, now the same thing again, or take it higher. So that can be really anywhere in your leg. I've heard from some people not the knee and other people, so there's mixed opinions. Being that I'm not an orthopedic surgeon or a physical therapist, I'm not going to provide my opinion. I tend to just I don't do this one too often. I tend to either do the floor or all the way up to my inner thigh for reasons just are related to my body and where I can be most aware. Right. So here I'm noticing this hip, drawing it in. You can even like place your hands on your hips to see if you have a sense. I'm noticing that any forward or back tilt. So I'm coming toward neutral. And then hands at my heart center. Really pressing into the center line of my grounded foot, hip in, pelvic floor in. Then I get my gaze straight ahead, and then hands up, and then maybe I look where the wall meets the ceiling, and then maybe I follow the ceiling all the way up to in between my hands, and then maybe I can even get a little bit of back bend, and then to center and down. Other side. So at the floor or where else it feels good for your body. Yeah. And it's so fascinating, right? What's going on in your body when you like catch yourself. It is so much easier to not be aware and and kind of stumble through life, I guess, right? Without awareness and be like, I didn't know, right? And then somehow we're not responsible. But the really tough part about doing yoga is you become so aware. And then with that awareness, right? I mean, the responsibility is undeniable. My body's like having fun here with my metaphors. So here, with my hands out, I can get more balance, just like if I was walking a tightrope. Then I'll bring myself in to center line. I'm breathing. Now I'm going to bring my gaze up, hands up, and then gaze to where the ceiling and the wall meet. Maybe up the ceiling. And a little back bend. There. So that was good. That was working with wobbliness right there. All right. Good. So one more pose is kind of a branching off of tree pose. Um, and this one is a figure four here. And I'll start, I think this is one that I used to do a lot and I haven't done in a while. And so I'm going to bring it back into my own practice. So I'll be working on this as we go through the videos. So just for today, we're going to start at the most basic level. So I have the ankle crossed over the knee and I'm coming down here. If you know this pose and you want to go into the arm balance, like go ahead. um, yeah, and if you want a higher level, just have your cat tickle your toes. And we're breathing and we're sinking low. Yeah, active foot up here, breathing. And then coming up. We'll do it twice. So once on each side and then one more time on each side. All right, so my knee to my ankle. Yeah, and just feeling this one, I can feel my hip. So it's stretching through the hip, drawing the belly in, lifting through the chest, breathing. Yeah, trying to make sure we have it even on both sides. And up. Okay, now the second one, we'll bring our arms out because that'll get us toward the arm balance. So here we go. So hands at heart center at first. And this is kind of nice because it gives us a counterbalance where we can sink a bit lower. So my hands are coming right out, palms facing each other, breathing. And when you get the instability, it's okay. Like, right, it gives us compassion for instability in others. It gives us compassion for instability in ourselves. And then we can extend that practice out to others. And up. And then our second side. So if we're needing the hands out for balance, do it. I am. All the tools, hands in. And then this lets me sink back a little bit more. Good, 5 breaths here. There. Good, side to side. All right, so coming back to our squats, and we'll work from there to crow pose. So I have one more arm balance, and then we'll cool down a little bit. So taking your feet wide, hands to your heart center, coming down, and then up. And remember, you can go as low as you want, or not as low. Kind of thinking through. Yep. Just a few. And then settling in to Malasana. You might set yourself up on some blocks or a cushion or a chair. So really finding Malasana here. And you can stay in Malasana or take crow pose. I'm going to move into crow pose. I'm just situating myself so that I have space in our like layer here with all of the animals. Layer makes me wish I had a dragon too. So here I am, and I'm getting my knees to my triceps, hands on the mat, shoulder distance apart, and then just finding the balance. So when I was working on this pose to get it into my repertoire, what I did was I put a cushion right here. Another option is to put a block right here, but something for if you inadvertently tip forward. And that's part of the process. You're just getting a sense of balancing on your triceps. Thumbs and first fingers connect. And then we're looking for just like a little air time, right? Just a little bit. Might start here. And then I just get my feet off the ground for a second, right? And then once they're off the ground, I can start to draw them into center line. And I can touch the ground or get more earth as much as I want. There is nothing wrong with that. Yay. Good, and you can pause and work on that more if you'd like. I'm just making sure I keep this to about an hour so it's reasonable. All right. So let's work through some stretches. So onto the floor. And first of all, let's just thank the legs for just here. And let's take, oh, nice stretch. Let's take one leg out a little, and I have the knee bent, and I'm just gonna work along those muscles. Kind of thanking the muscles. All right, and I promised you I would tell you about Chin Mudra and Goddess Pose, but I think I will tell you about it right down here on the floor. So massage on the legs, and the other. So we're really thanking the body for the work, right? And we want to leave the body, we don't want to leave the body, but we want to leave the practice with a sense of the body really feeling connected to us and trusting us, right? That we are taking care of it and that we are thankful, right? Just like if we are out working with the horse and bring it back, and right, we brush him down and massage him, and detangle the mane and the tail and clean off the hooves, and right, and get everybody all ready to head back into the stalls. The same with the body, like we're wanting to really leave it on this note of gratitude and closure. It creates trust. All right, now moving the tissue back. Here, I'm going to grab my strap again. So grabbing a towel to strap your bathrobe tie. And I'm just going to draw my heart toward my toes. You might not need a strap here. Some days I do, some days I don't. Ooh. Today feels really nice. And here with the strap, I don't have to like, right? I'm not folding so much forward as I'm stretching through the hamstrings, heart toward my toes. Oopsie. Yeah, nice. Then I'm going to go right onto my back and work with this stretch here. I might have to flip over just so I have space on the other side. So I have my right foot into the strap, my left leg long, and I'm drawing the leg, pressing through the heel, drawing the leg up and over my head. Right, I'm not forcing anything. It doesn't need to go any further than what's just right for my body. And then taking my left hand down into goalpost arms and my right leg out. Drawing the toes in, and I'm keeping my hips square. So I might even put my left hand on my left hip to keep the left hip down. And then taking the right leg up and over. So here I'm going to have to move a little because I have the fireplace. And I'm just moving so that I can move over. Ooh. And I can even massage the hip here. Ooh. And breathing through whatever you notice. You can look over your right arm. I've moved my strap to my left hand. And then back to center. I'm going to put both feet in here. And draw. Keeping the hips on the floor. I'm drawing the feet forward. So nice stretches. Just because we did so many balancing poses in it, it's a lot of contraction. Good. And then the left leg, I'm going to have to situate myself again so I can get it open. And then open. You can look to the opposite side. Drawing the toes toward you, the heel presses away. And the leg up, I can get back into neutral. Here I'm going to draw toes up and over. And then to the side. And then you just breathe in. This is, I don't know if you can tell from me, but this is very intense, especially, it depends on your hips, but for me, this is a lot. This pose is a lot. I'm feeling a lot. And this is a great place for me to build this really well of compassion and acceptance and understanding, right, of what it feels like to have a body. And I know, Hamzi. And then coming back to center. And then both feet again. Uh, a stretch. Not exactly sure what time I started, but I think it was definitely over an hour ago. All right. So one more time and seated. And then we'll have a little Shavasana. I want to just work through this chin mudra for you. So we'll start here with this Anjali mudra. And in the Anjali mudra, we imagine this lotus seed in here, and this is possibility. Drawing this possibility really close to your heart. And then the next mudra is Padme mudra. And so the pinkies come together, the thumbs come together. And this is the mudra of the lotus flower. And to me, this is like from the mud to the top, the surface of the water, the lotus seed grows. And this is grace here. And then the chin mudra. So this is ego, like pointing you, me. It's how we blame and project and all the kind of stuff that doesn't work. And then the thumb represents this connection to the heart. See how close it is? And this is how it works for me, right? This is how the chin mudra works for me. Um, so I have all the issues I'm struggling with, and then this connection to the heart, and then to the universe and the God of my understanding. And I connect the two, and I let go and I let God. I let go and I let the universe, right? And so this is this Chin Mudra here. So we can practice it in this way, this possibility, and then moving through Padme Mudra, grace, and then release, letting go. This possibility and grace and letting go, right? And this is how we work with our capacity to be with others, right? The possibility of it. And in all the work, right? We're in the work and we're working toward really fully trying to love the people in our lives with an open heart. And then, however that goes, we let go and let God because we're in it and we're trying, right? No need to negatively ruminate or shame. We let go. And guess what we do? We try again. And so we start with possibility, right? We pray for our true heart and our true compassion, our bodhicitta to be present. And then we try, and then we let go and let God or the universe. So let's move from here to the final Shavasana. So heart open, legs open. If you need any final twists, just take them. And breathing. And while you're in Shavasana, I'm going to read our book one more time. Understanding is the nature of love. Understanding someone's suffering is the best gift you can give another person. Understanding is love's other name. If you don't understand, you can't love. So I'm going to take Supta Baddha Konasana, hand on my belly, hand on my heart. And then taking a big breath in and out. Wiggling your fingertips and your toes, bending your elbows and your knees and rolling to your side. If you want a little more Shavasana, just simply pause. And then coming up to a seated position, ankles crossed, hands at your heart center, Anjali Mudra. May I work on my capacity to understand, knowing that understanding is the foundation of my ability to truly love others. May that practice serve the same practice in others. May all beings know and understand each other. The light and the work toward understanding in me sees the light and that work toward understanding in you. Om Shanti 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 Om. Peace.